The lighting is dark in here. Oh, it's so dark outside.
It's cloudy.
It's a cloudy day.
Oh, praise it. If I open this up, it actually might let a little light.
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's light it.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video with my husband.
Kyle Denton.
And we are going to do a how we met video and kind of talk about our love story a little bit. So, where do we want to start?
Just know this is for you guys because I don't do this regularly. So
He feels a little bit uncomfortable talking about mushy-gushy stuff, but
right here.
it's okay. It's good for you.
That's right here. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's hard for me.
It's good for the soul. He's got his latte. Oh, you should have showed him your latte art.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Look, you can't see it anymore.
So, where do we begin? We met in 8th grade.
Back in 2006.
Was it?
I have no clue. We'll be 8th grade. 2010 we graduated high school, so it can be 2006. Back in 2004 on a beautiful Sunday morning.
We were in 8th grade, basically.
This is kind of the funny weird thing actually, because so in 8th grade, I always went to a public school. Hannah, I think, was homeschooled.
I was homeschooled 1 year before that, but I went to a public school
most of your time.
most of the
Anyway, so
time.
I always went to public school, but in 8th grade, I decided that I wanted to be able to work during school. My family owned a business or whatever, and so I wanted to make some money. Why did you go to it?
I don't really know why I went to it. I think my mom had a lot of issues growing up in middle school, and so she wanted me to like
Oh yeah, I forgot.
not be in that environment, but I was still surrounded by kids, but not like a ton of public school kids.
It was a Christian. It was a church basically. I think it was like a church that had like a small school attached to it or whatever.
And Kyle was the only boy in our class. Okay, so I met my best friend and him in this little co-op that we went to. He was the only boy in our 8th grade class, so there was like 8 of us.
Yeah, this is the funny thing. The school, literally the entire middle school, I think, was a class of like 35.
Yeah.
6th, 7th, and 8th. Not just 8th grade. And then our 8th grade was like maybe 8 or 9 people. Mm-hmm. And I was the only guy.
Only guy. So imagine all these girls, 8th grade girls, were like, oh my gosh, who is he? And you said you didn't really like notice me at first.
No, I wasn't, I went to there because I wanted to go to work. I was more worried about probably making money than girls at the time. I was like, I'm going to be driving soon. I need to start making some money so I can buy a truck. So I was more worried about that than I didn't really care about girls at the time, really.
But I remember seeing him.
I mean, they're fascinating, but that was probably about it.
I remember seeing him on the first day. It was like a, what's the first day called when everybody comes and kind of meets each other? Whatever that's called. But we were doing orientation. Yes, we were doing that, and I was like, oh my gosh. I saw him across the room, and I was like, I hope that guy's in our class. And he was the only boy in our class. I met my best friend Casey, and during 8th grade, we kind of just like hung out with Kyle. We called him on the phone constantly at his house. His mom probably thought we were crazy. And we talked on the phone for like 30 minutes. Yeah,
that was back in the day when you had a landline to the house, which my parents, I think, still have one, which probably like no one in the world does, but a few, maybe the older people do. But we had like a landline with the cord. It wasn't like the, and then I remember when they came out with the ones that you could pick up and it was like portable around the house. This one was the cord. So the only like private room was, it was right next to the laundry room. So I'd pull, it had like the really long cord, you pull it behind there. And I'd sit on the washer or dryer and talk for
a long time.
Long time, actually. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we would 3-way call. So me, my best friend, and you would all be on the phone. And then I tried to get Kyle to tell me he liked me so many times, but I would make my friend Casey do it. So I'd be like, okay, pretend like I hang up, but ask him who he likes. And he would never say who he liked. There was one time, like at the end of the year, where he said he had a crush on me. But I had to like force it out of you. And you probably didn't even really like me. You probably just wanted to say that to get rid of me.
I don't even really remember 8th grade, to be honest with you. I have a really bad memory, so...
He really does. Okay, so we finished 8th grade. You went to Carnes after 8th grade?
Yeah, went to Carnes for 2 years. So all the schools were getting overloaded at the time. So 2 years into it, they built another school, and that school was kind of like an overload for all the schools around there. Like, you know, probably 5 or 6 high schools. They built another school.
I moved away to Dubai after 8th grade. 11th grade, we moved home, and that's when this new school opened. We were both juniors. So I didn't even know that Kyle was going to that school until probably like the end of junior year. My friend Krista pointed him out to me and was like, hey, isn't that the kid you always used to talk about in 8th grade? And he was like the only boy in your school. And I turned around and I was like, oh my gosh, I think that is. But you cut your hair off. Like in 8th grade, he used to have Justin Bieber hair, like really cute hair. I used to think it was like, oh my gosh, so cute. I probably have a picture I can insert.
No, please don't.
So you cut it off?
So I cut it off. So probably like this. I don't know. I don't remember what I had, but I probably cut it off like this. So I probably did look a little different because my hair used to be like right here, you know.
Yeah, and he used to like swoosh it. It used to be so cute, so
eyes.
hot.
And anyways,
lunchroom.
So lunchroom, met up with her.
He came over and talked to me, asked me how Dubai was,
because I heard about her going to Dubai, and I was like, what? I was like, somebody was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to Hannah, and like, oh, she went to Dubai. And at the time, like, people know what Dubai is now, but at the time, Dubai was not like really well known. It was like, you know, now I feel like you say Dubai to someone, they're like, oh, what? They were in Dubai? Back then, it'd be like, where's Dubai? I heard that, saw she was there, and I was like, that's cool. So we met up. We started talking or whatever.
We were just friends, though.
Yeah, I still was kind of like, I thought she was cool as a friend.
Yeah,
that was
like, that's really, like, all I thought. Was like, we were just friends, and I was like, oh, cool, like, that's awesome. We got to meet back up again. I mean, I knew I had a crush on him in 8th grade, but I'm like, it's been so long. I'm like, we're just buddies. I think we were going on jet skis one day, and then my mom invited us out to dinner afterwards. We were just hanging out as friends, and my mom's like, hey, do you want to go to like Red Lobster or something? And this is when we were planning to move back to Dubai, because my stepdad was still working in Dubai, so my family was planning to move back. My mom, my little brother, and me. Yeah,
they were going back to look for houses. That's basically what it was like. Hey, we got a 2-week period. The company was going to pay to, I think, pay for you guys to have a place and fly out, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Paid for them to come out to look for housing. That's basically what was going to happen. They were all going to move back. So her mom was like, hey, you should come check it out with us. And I've never asked your mom. Have I asked your mom if she really, like, was just thinking?
She would tell everybody that. Like, you should come visit us.
Yeah, I don't think she actually thought I would take that one on. But, but anyways, I was like, dude, go to Dubai. Like, that's awesome. I love to travel. I think traveling, like, you know, going to see the world is fun and cool. So I was like, dude, I've never been anywhere over in that area.
So I thought he was joking, but later that night he called me and he's like, Hannah, like, was your mom really being serious? Like, could I come with you guys? And we were leaving in 2 weeks to go check out houses in Dubai.
And keep in mind, this was when school starts. They were leaving, like, I think the day before school starts, and they were going to basically miss the first 2 weeks of school.
I was going to miss the first 2 weeks of my senior year because I thought, hey, I'm going to be moving to Dubai anyway, so who cares if I miss the first 2 weeks?
Well, my mom didn't think that.
Yeah.
So my mom, I asked them, and they were like, no way, you got to miss the first 2 weeks? So then I kept like, come on, man, it'd be awesome, blah, blah. And so she said, well, I got to convince the principal that, I think it was like, convince the principal that it would be okay for me to leave for 2 weeks. So I went up there and tried to talk her into, I was like, it'd be a good learning opportunity and blah, 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 blah. And she said like, no anyways.
Nope, sorry. And so she's like, you know, you can miss up to, I think it was like 9 days of school without having to go to court or whatever for missing so many days.
Yeah, so how did that happen?
So we just chanced it. We booked your ticket and we went. And we never got any like court appearance or anything for missing too many days of school.
That's true. So all you seniors out there.
Yeah.
You can miss.
You can miss. We missed 2 weeks, so.
Basically missed 2 weeks back to back. So we had to stay at this, like, it was like an apartment hotel. Right? It's kind of odd.
It was almost like a condo.
Yeah, it was really a condo. That's really what it was, but it was a hotel. It was odd. It was like you're in a condo, but it was a hotel. So when you like live with someone, you get the little details as far as like
you really get to know him quickly.
Yeah, you get to know somebody pretty quickly. So she was a friend, cool. Did not think anything of her as like anything more. I was just like, dude, go to Dubai, hang out.
Which
awesome.
A normal boy would not be like that. Like
No,
they would have
not.
intentions behind it, but he's really not like that.
I don't know. I didn't have any intentions. My intentions was to go to Dubai and have some fun, and it was like free. All I had to pay for was the flight.
But deep down in his heart, I think he knew that he loved me.
No, not at all. We're like, you know, staying together pretty close, and we're like going around the city. And so that's when I started like getting to know her a little more, like, and I was like, man, she's kind of like a little cooler than a friend, you know. And I was like, yeah, I mean, she's nice, you know. And anyways, I don't know. I'm not good at explaining this stuff, but anyways, and then I was like, dude, I kind of want to date her. But then here was the thing: she was planning on moving back to Dubai. So in my head, I'm like, dude, I got to do a long distance relationship. I'm like. I never had a real girlfriend prior to this, so I was like, I was like, that's not gonna work, man. Long distance relationship, like she's in not even like, hey, I'm gonna go to Ohio this weekend. No. I gotta fly to Dubai, 15-hour flight. So then it was like, in my head at the time, I'm like, dude, this is like a long distance relationship. So I was kind of like, had some mixed emotions too. I was like, I don't know, man. And then, I don't know, one night, I was just like,
you got the courage, because my mom saw the courage build up in you. And you like looked out the window and there was like a beautiful river. And I saw, like, we were all sitting at the table and he got up.
No, it wasn't a river, it was the
oh, what was it?
It was either the sea.
Maybe Mediterranean Sea.
Or it was the ocean.
Yeah.
Anyways, this restaurant was on a, like, behind it was, I mean, just massive expensive, like, boats. I'm talking night. Like the arena, the marinas there are like, dude, you got people coming in with like $1 million boats. Like it was.
So he looked out the window and we're like, what is he doing? And then he comes up behind me on my shoulders and he's like, hey, you want to go talk outside? I was like, I got so nervous because I just knew for some reason.
I don't remember these details. I do remember the nice place. Yeah. I don't remember looking out the window, but I do remember going, hey, that's a pretty nice place out there. It was like kind of cool, romantic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to rain. It was romantic. Lights were like, you know, like yellow with the expensive boats in the background and the water kind of just.
It was like a perfect setting.
It was a good setting.
So I was so nervous. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom first. So I remember sitting in this tiny bathroom. Like it was such a big restaurant and it was a tiny bathroom. And he was outside waiting for me because he had to walk downstairs.
And all I could hear was like.
No.
At the time, it was like, dude, I'm gonna have to do this long distance relationship. So it wasn't just like, hey, would you like to like start going out, like actually make this more than just friends? But then it was like this, like, hey, would you like to go out and this long distance relationship thing? Because it wasn't like, it was like they were going back to look for houses, but I don't know how long. There was like no set period of when they were going to move back. It was more
like
just
I would still go back home to Tennessee and go to school for a little while.
For a while. So there would be like a little bit of a time, but bottom line, the thought was she's moving back to Dubai for a while.
So it would have to be long distance. And so I just recently, before that, broke up with a boyfriend. And it really wasn't that long before that. Maybe like a few weeks or a month or something. I think it was probably about a month. I broke up with a boy. And so he asked me out, and I actually denied him because I was like, I just broke up with this guy, like...
You denied me?
Mm-hmm.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was like, just give me a little bit more time.
Damn, I even remember that.
So I
block all the negativity out of my head.
Okay, but then you got this movie for me, Twilight. I really wanted to watch Twilight.
Oh
so he bought me a movie, and that night we were watching my little brother because my parents went out on a date. Like, this was like another night, maybe a few days later. And you're like, so we were sitting on the couch watching the movie, and you're like, hey, so would you want to go out with me? And I'm like, yeah. So that's when we officially started dating.
I don't even remember that. What I remember is the movie was terribly cheesy. Then she passes out, and I'm sitting here watching this really cheesy, like, I was like, the acting was terrible. I mean, I don't care. You like Twilight girls or whatever, that's fine. But it was bad acting. You cannot deny that.
That night that you asked me out, the first night, I was like, listen, I like you, but I just broke up with this guy, so it's going to look really bad for us to go back to Tennessee and be dating. So
yeah, and actually at the time now I'm like, at the time I was totally like Mr. Oblivious, but yeah. That would
so
that would have looked pretty bad.
But anyway, so we started dating, and we just didn't tell anyone for a while when we came back from Dubai that we were dating. But I'm sure people were like, you went to Dubai with her? Are you guys together? You know, so they probably kind of knew.
So anyways, we started dating, and boom, that was our meetup / love story.
Yeah, so that's how we met. If you guys want to hear a little bit more about our story, we dated for like 7 years. So we have a lot more to tell.
Hit that like button.
So yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button and press subscribe to get more videos like this.
You don't get any more.
Yeah, how many views should it get?
I don't know.
How many thumbs up?
20,000. So that I don't have to share any more deep, intimate things.
That's never gonna happen. But if you guys want Kyle back on my channel, make sure to leave it in the comments down below, and we will share maybe our first kiss or our engagement story. I'm gonna go ahead and link our engagement video down below if you guys want to go check it out. Leave it in the comments down below what you guys look for in your future spouse or your future boyfriend or husband. What qualities, what characteristics do you guys look for? I would love to know.
Alright guys.
Okay.
Y'all have an awesome day.
We'll see you next time.